everyone, and welcome to the On the Go Post Show with your Go Morning Show team here at WKYC Studios. I'm Danielle Wiggins with Maureen Kyle, Dave Chadowski, Jasmine Monroe, and Holly Strano. And remember, always we thank you for joining us each day at this time. Don't forget to comment, let us know your name and where you are watching from. This is both on Facebook and YouTube. And today, what we want to talk about is, the surging number of coronavirus cases and the impact that it's having on the holidays, as well as on many of us having to adjust, especially the hospital systems. So Jasmine Monroe will give us more information about that in a minute. And also, we have a series that we launched today called Holiday Help. And so I have that information for you about, ways that each of you can give back during this season. We'll talk about that in just a moment. I know, Mo, you have a story coming up as well that hopefully you can preview for us and give us a sneak peek. But first, we start with the coronavirus because, as we've been reporting on the Go Show, 11,885 new cases reported on Monday, but that is a backlog from two labs that weren't able to report last week. They weren't able to report for, I think, 2 days last week. Yeah, 2 days last weekend. Jasmine, that's really impacting our hospital system. What's going on? I know you were on this all morning.
Yeah, so pretty much what doctors have told us is social distance, because it's putting a strain on the doctors and the caregivers at the hospitals. They are running out of ventilators. That used to be a national story. Now that's a local story, just to give you a perspective of how bad things are starting to get. So they're pretty much saying if everyone just doesn't wear their mask and have this big, huge Thanksgiving holiday dinner, these numbers are going to rise and the hospitals are going to be forced to either turn away people or be forced to give them a bed that's inside of, they were talking about dorm rooms before, some at the IX Center. But the fact of the matter is they don't have enough people working. They have about 1,000 doctors and nurses and caregivers out now who either have COVID or have symptoms of COVID or have been exposed. So I have a girlfriend who in the beginning, I was talking to her about COVID and, we were talking and she's like, just wear your mask and be good. And now she's just, this was just yesterday. And she's just like, I'm starting to get afraid. Did get COVID. And it's just, to me, to see her, she's so strong to say something like that. Kind of put things into perspective for me of like, oh, yep. Looks like you'll be hanging out at home by yourself, or it's very scary. I know where our whole thing is fact over fear, but when the doctors are starting to get afraid, I think we need to start listening up. And she pretty much just said, if we don't do what we need to do, we're never getting out of this. So she keeps hearing people say, I can't wait till this is over with their mask under their nose, so it's up to us. Governor DeWine says it's up to us. And it drives me crazy to know that it's up to us to, to help us get out of this, because I know some people who don't even believe in wearing a mask. And I know some people who stand by it. So it's definitely still a nation divided.
Now you said something key is personal responsibility, which the governor really talks about. Now, Jasmine, is your friend, they're a doctor or a nurse?
She's a nurse.
Okay. Yeah, that is scary. And Mo and Dave, I know you guys have kids, and there's talk of really wanting all the schools, especially in Cuyahoga County, to go to remote learning. What are some of your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll jump in first, Maureen. We've been getting a lot of emails over the last week. There was a period where in my school district, you'd maybe get one a week of a COVID, whether it was a positive test or a possibility of one. And it was very far and few between, to be honest with you. But in the last week, it seems like daily 1 or 2 emails. And, it's to the point now where, we found out last week that our school is going remote again for 2 weeks, and I'm sure it's going to continue. But I've also talked with others, where I'll just be honest. My kids go to PSR, and the school where they go to PSR, I was wondering, are they going to have it last night? And they did. The school where they go to, no issues at all. So, you have some places where it's an issue, other places where it's not. Some schools remain in class, others don't. So it's one of those tough, difficult things. And again, as a parent, you might not even have the decision. Right now, the decisions we have, going back to what Jasmine is talking about, is the decision to be with family or more than just family on Thanksgiving, the decision to go out and about. I'll give you one last thing. I had to run to the store yesterday. Listen, I did it. People are out and about. It is. People are out and about.
Jump in on what our kids are doing. So we are one of the schools that has not had an issue. So my kids are still fully in class. They're off this week. They have an extended break, but we have never gotten an email saying that either a student or a teacher has been exposed or has tested positive. Exposed, I won't say that. I don't think we get an email if they've been exposed, but if there's been no positive cases at our school. So they have decided to keep going as long as they can. That's what they've decided, because we don't have the option of putting them remote for a few days or a week or whatever. We had to decide at the beginning of the year, they're either going or they're learning from home. I think that changes with every quarter. But as the daughter of teachers, I was getting a little freaked out. My dad's still teaching. He's still getting a lot of, now St. Ignatius is remote, but they were having, an email a day of positive cases. And that was starting to make me nervous about him being in a certain age group. Sorry, Dad, you're in a certain age group. But
Coach
but
Kyle.
he looks good. He looks good. And he's a healthy guy. So, it's a mixed bag. I don't know. Like, I want my kids to have that experience of learning as long as they can I think there is such a benefit of being in the classroom with students, but the story this morning saying that, Cuyahoga County health officials and DeWine are saying that they're seeing more and more cases in schools. And at first they were saying it's not a place to spread. Now they're questioning that. It does give me pause, but I have to go with the flow. We made decisions months ago and we're stuck with them.
Yeah, with that story is 640 cases across 86 school buildings within the last week. So with a more than 20% positivity rate for patients between the ages of 20 and 29. So that 20 to 29 isn't the school age, but go ahead, Dave.
Sorry, Danielle, but that's interesting. Maureen doesn't have Maureen's in that situation. For us, we right now it's at home or it's nothing right now. I know we had the choice to go academy or to go in person. And again, I want to reiterate too. So Maureen's talking about one school as where when I get these emails, it's emails for high school, middle school, and all the other schools. So it's a bigger.
My first grader is at a Catholic school, so it's different.
Yeah.
The diocese had just said, they were going to try and go in person as long as they can. So it is, and that's what we've been talking about on the show. It depends on your district, on your city, right. It's all different.
And I'm in Summit County, and the district that my children are enrolled in, they are trying their hardest to stay in person because they believe that that's what's best for the kids, especially the elementary schools. My daughter's on an IEP. I shared that before. And so in-person learning is best for her, but the older kids, they are more of a hybrid. And so for those of you chiming in, I appreciate that. Jennifer Miner, she says her son hasn't been in school since March, and it is taking a toll on him mentally and physically. So, a lot of people chiming in here. And then we also have a number of people just saying hello. So Marianne Milling, she's talking about her Thanksgiving and how Thanksgiving is going to be low key, like she does it every year, COVID or not. And she says, happy Thanksgiving to all. Holly, did you want to chime in on anything?
I'm thinking about the kids in the mental health series that I'm doing. I will be talking to a pediatrician in one of the segments coming up about just this and everything that we're kind of going over, because this is indeed taking a toll on children. And I guess what I compare it to is ourselves. Think of what you're feeling. Think of the stresses that you're going through, and then a kid who doesn't, have an adult brain, who is developing, who is all of the above. So it's tough. So I look forward to that part of the series. And then to kind of bounce back off of something that Dave said earlier, I was out yesterday just for an essential, driving to grab something for dinner. And it was like, I don't even know, Thanksgiving was tomorrow. It was, I was amazed at how much traffic and how packed. I mean, I literally was just staring around me at packed parking lots, and like nothing was going on. Things were that busy, and it's a little scary when I see that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when I was out at the grocery store, it was picked over, and it was picked over in all of the like I could not find just chicken breast. And I think people are still we're saying stay home and have your own little Thanksgiving. That means you're still cooking. And so now people are running out for essentials, throughout this week. So it's just a matter of being safe too. And maybe not walking, shoulder to shoulder down the grocery aisles together.
Right.
Might have to go back to Costco.
Yeah.
And let me, as we close, I want to get some more comments in here. Trisha Reaver, she says, there are way too many people not caring about their family and communities. Everyone needs to listen to Samuel Jackson reading his stay-at-home book. So Samuel Jackson can always put a smile on your face with a little bit of choice language there. And this week we also have holiday help, so we are helping you through the holidays. My story on ways to give back to your community is on wkyc.com. Mo, 20 seconds, because we know you have to go for the Today Show. You have a story tomorrow.
News tomorrow, you guys. I was on the big story. Mini cheesecakes. I'm going to show you how to make them tomorrow. Super simple. They're ones that, so you don't have to split a cheesecake and all that kind of stuff. If you're at home by yourself, you just get a mini one.
Oh, I love cheesecake. So tune in tomorrow starting at 4:30. Watch Dave, Holly, and Maureen during the Today Show. And also always give love to Jasmine Monroe on her social media posts, and because she's a great follow. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.